Well, welcome back. It's very good to see you all again. The messages have already started arriving. I'm hoping and I'm sure that we were going to have a healthy and happy New Year, and I extend my greetings to all of you. And I especially am pleased that you made it through the snow and got here in time and so on. We are going to have a busy and hard year. The list of legislative items before us is substantial. I'm confident we can and will responsibly address each of them, from jail consolidation to the budget shortfall. There is a very hard winter ahead, and that concerns me, and I know it concerns you. I want to talk about that today. What I want to talk about is how Maine people are going to make it through this winter and how they are going to prosper over the next 10 to 20 winters. Largely due to worldwide escalating fuel and food prices, many Maine families are at risk of being cold and hungry this winter. I just filled the tank of my car for $38. I have a small tank. Last month, Maine state leaders called on the federal government to step forward and meet the need regarding fuel assistance. And since then, thankfully, Congress has authorized a $10 to $25 million increase in fuel assistance. That may not be enough. Also, in an expression of the promise of public and private partnerships, many Maine people and businesses have generously contributed to charities to help their neighbors make it through these cold months. Petroleum delivery companies have donated to the Keep Me Warm Fund and similar charities. For instance, Irving Oil with $100,000 and Down East Energy with $50,000. Numerous food banks are working hard to meet the expanding need. Mainers are clearly demonstrating their commitment to take care of each other. And that's the only way we're going to get through this period, together. In the long run, we will continue to encourage and innovate for ways to become a more energy independent state. But those solutions do not come quickly. We want to prosper. We want every Mainer to have the opportunity to reach their goals. Last November, thankfully, we, the people of Maine, took a major step forward when we approved bonds for research, development, and innovation, and for higher education. Participating in the new international economy requires a well-educated workforce and support, and that's not an inexpensive thing, that support, to bring new ideas and to bring them to market. That's the strategy that Maine is following. The public-private partnerships created when the Maine Technology Institute invests in a new product or company will provide a basis for a stronger and more diverse Maine economy. Those are costs. However, to grow companies here, Maine must be a place where people want to be and can operate a business. Maine, as we know, just looking outside the window, has many positive attributes. We've even gotten a report, Quality of Places, that stated the obvious to us. Increasingly, those things that we cherish most about Maine, its natural beauty, its vibrant and livable communities, are prized by those who have the energy and skills to build businesses for the coming century. To build these businesses in Maine, they need to be able to efficiently move people and products from Maine to their customers and clients around the world. And unfortunately, Maine's transportation network is in poor condition right now and getting worse every year. The recent report of the Bridge Task Force concluded that an additional $50 to $60 million a year is needed to keep Maine's bridges maintained. That's just maintained. And that doesn't begin to address the many other miles of roadway or an entire railroad system. Maine's not alone. The entire U.S. transportation network is in disrepair, as dramatically demonstrated by the recent bridge collapse in Minnesota. The U.S. Department of Transportation has acknowledged much and urged states to move on their own. Would that they would help us more. Those who invest in their own roads and rails will be best positioned for growth in the future. This does present Maine with historic opportunities. Expanding the Downeaster to Brunswick will open up passenger rail from Rockland to Boston. It will increase freight opportunities to Augusta and to Lewis and Auburn. It will begin to lay the groundwork for the Mountain Division. Skilled professionals are already fleeing Boston in favor of Maine's quality of life. And imagine how many more will bring their educations and their businesses to Maine if they have reliable, hassle-free transportation as they go back and forth to Boston on the occasional business trip. Embracing innovative public and private partnerships will allow Maine to repair its north-south roadways and perhaps build an east-west access. A glance at the map tells us that, contrary to some people's opinion, Maine is not at the end of the line. We are in the middle of a vibrant regional economy that includes New England, Quebec, and the Maritime provinces. And we need to start acting like that, improving our links with that entire region. Maine has spent the last 7 years trimming much of its state budget. Adjusted for inflation, our spending has been flat. At the same time, we have met a citizens' initiative mandate to provide 55% of K-12 school funding and managed a double-digit inflation in health care costs, which are increasingly a large share of the budget. When you think about rising health care costs, remember those increases are embedded in every aspect of the state budget, from inmate health care within the correctional system to the cost of contracted services. Despite these pressures, we have managed to hold the line on taxes by diligently cutting, consolidating, and streamlining government. Just last year, we all sat here together and cut $100 million. $100 million in order to avoid a tax increase. And this year, we have to keep everything available and on the table for us. This year is unlike any since the early 1990s. House prices across America are falling. Foreclosures, bankruptcies are up. Fuel and food prices are rising. State agencies which are struggling to address the unbudgeted increases in gas and heating costs are being asked to find another $95 million in cuts, just as the need for government assistance is growing. At the beginning of the last decade, Maine addressed its budget crunch through a combination of cuts, increased efficiencies, and temporary revenue increases. We have to think about where we are now. After 7 years, we have cut all the fat. Now we are down to muscle and bone. If we cut too far, our communities will not be able to bounce back when the economy does improve. And in the meantime, our people will be suffering. You know, it occurs to me that in times of economic trouble, domestic violence increases. All the social services increase their needs. We can't forget that. We can't pretend that those things are not going to happen. I personally, and we collectively, will not allow this to happen. I hope everyone in this chamber, regardless of political party, will join me in making sure that Maine's safety net remains intact. It is our responsibility. It is our job. I have hope for us. I've worked with you all for many years, and I know that you have big hearts and smart minds, that you don't spend injudiciously, but that you put behind your work in government the ethic that says it's our responsibility to take care of every Mainer, to make sure that, as Dr. Seuss would say, the small and the tall are all looked after. And I am eager to work with you. But I'm going to underscore, this is going to be a tough year. And I want us to know and face that toughness and realize that all of us are going to have to do things that are challenging for us. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to this coming period.